For centuries, the land of Saba stood as a symbol of prosperity, intelligence, and unmatched engineering in the ancient world. Nestled in the fertile valleys of southern Arabia, the kingdom of Saba was blessed with rich soil, abundant water, and a level of civilization far ahead of its time. At the heart of this prosperity stood the legendary Marib Dam, a monumental structure that controlled water, nourished the land, and transformed the harsh desert into flourishing gardens. To outsiders, Saba appeared untouchable, a kingdom protected by its wealth, knowledge, and human ingenuity. Yet, history reminds us that no civilization rises by its own strength alone, and no blessing exists without responsibility. The story of the people of Saba is not merely a tale of architectural brilliance or economic success. It is a profound moral lesson recorded in the Qur'an, revealing how divine blessings can become a test and how arrogance, ingratitude, and disobedience can lead even the mightiest nations to ruin. Allah granted the people of Saba safety, stability, and abundance unlike any other. Their cities were secure, their journeys easy, and their land produced wealth without hardship. They were given every reason to be grateful. But gratitude slowly turned into negligence. Dependence on Allah was replaced by dependence on stone and water. The dam they trusted more than their creator became a symbol of misplaced faith. Warnings came, not all at once, but gradually, through signs in nature and reminders in revelation. Still, the people of Saba turned away, choosing comfort over conscience and pride over submission. What followed was not a sudden act of destruction, but a measured divine response. The very source of their prosperity became the instrument of their downfall. The flood of al-Arim swept through their land, tearing apart gardens, homes, and livelihoods, leaving behind ruins where abundance once thrived. A civilization that believed itself secure was erased not by foreign armies, but by the withdrawal of divine mercy. This is the complete story of how and why Allah destroyed the people of Saba, not as a legend, but as a warning, a reminder that when gratitude disappears and faith is abandoned, even the strongest foundations can collapse. The Quran presents the story of the people of Saba not as an isolated historical event, but as a carefully structured lesson woven into the broader pattern of human rise and decline. In Surah Saba 34, 15-17, Allah describes their land as a place of balance and perfection, gardens to the right and gardens to the left, a symbol of harmony between nature and human stewardship. Their prosperity was not accidental, it was divinely granted. Every harvest, every flowing channel of water, and every successful journey was a manifestation of Allah's mercy. Unlike many civilizations that rose through conquest or exploitation, Saba flourished through stability and intelligent management of resources. The Marib Dam was the backbone of their success, regulating seasonal rains and preventing destructive floods. This engineering marvel allowed agriculture to thrive in an otherwise arid region, turning Saba into a hub of trade and economic influence. Caravans moved safely between cities, and wealth circulated without fear or scarcity. Allah Himself describes their land as a good land with a forgiving Lord. However, divine blessings are never unconditional. They carry within them a test, whether humans will respond with gratitude, shukr, or kufr. For the people of Saba, prosperity gradually blurred the line between reliance on Allah and reliance on their own achievements. The dam, once a tool of stewardship, became a symbol of self-sufficiency. Gratitude faded into entitlement. The people enjoyed the fruits of the land, but neglected the source of all provision. The Qur'an makes it clear that their downfall did not begin with destruction, but with spiritual decay. When people cease to acknowledge Allah's favors, moral erosion follows. Social responsibility weakens, justice loses its foundation, and faith becomes secondary to comfort. The people of Saba turned away from remembrance, ignoring the signs that were meant to awaken them. This turning away was not ignorance, it was a conscious choice to prioritize worldly ease over obedience. As a consequence, Allah altered the balance they once enjoyed. The stability of their environment began to weaken. The Marib Dam, long trusted as unbreakable, showed signs of neglect. Small cracks appeared, not only in stone, but in the moral fabric of society. These warnings were subtle, giving the people time to reflect and return. Divine punishment in Islamic understanding is never hasty. It is preceded by reminders, opportunities for repentance, and clear signs. Yet the people persisted in denial. Instead of humility, they responded with indifference. Instead of reform, they relied even more on their structures and systems. This is a recurring pattern in human history. When warnings are ignored, consequences become inevitable. Eventually, the balance that held their world together collapsed. The flood of al-Arim was not merely a natural disaster, it was the removal of divine protection. When Allah withdrew His mercy, the forces of nature acted without restraint. The dam broke, releasing torrents of water that surged through the valley, destroying fields, homes, and infrastructure. Gardens that once symbolized abundance were replaced with bitter fruit, sparse trees, and thorny plants, exactly as described in the Qur'an. The destruction was total, yet precise. It did not annihilate humanity indiscriminately, but dismantled a civilization that had lost its moral compass. Survivors were scattered across the Arabian Peninsula, their unity shattered. Trade routes collapsed, cities were abandoned, and Saba ceased to exist as a functioning society. What remained were ruins, silent witnesses to a once great nation. This punishment was not an expression of cruelty, but of justice. Allah does not wrong His creation, people wrong themselves. The people of Saba were not destroyed because they were advanced, but because they were ungrateful. Their knowledge and technology were not condemned, their arrogance was. Islam does not oppose progress, it warns against forgetting the source of all progress. The story also highlights a crucial principle. Material success is not a sign of divine approval. Wealth, security, and power can be tests rather than rewards. When blessings lead to humility, they elevate a people. When they lead to pride, they become the means of downfall. The people of Saba mistook stability for permanence and comfort for immunity. Today, their story stands as a mirror for every civilization that believes itself untouchable. The ruins of Saba remind humanity that no system, economic, political, or technological, can replace moral accountability. When gratitude disappears and faith is abandoned, collapse does not come from foreign enemies, but from within. Beyond the physical destruction of Saba lies a deeper dimension of the story, one that transcends time, geography, and culture. The Qur'an does not preserve this event merely as historical memory, but as a living lesson embedded in divine discourse. When Allah recounts the fate of Saba, He is not addressing only an ancient people, but speaking to every society that follows a similar path. The ruins are not the end of the story, they are the beginning of reflection. One of the most striking elements in the narrative of Saba is the gradual nature of their downfall. There was no sudden annihilation, no immediate catastrophe that came without warning. Instead, the process unfolded slowly, allowing space for repentance. This reflects a fundamental principle in Islamic theology. Allah is most merciful and does not punish a people until they have been clearly warned. The people of Saba received these warnings through changes in their environment, through internal decay, and through reminders that called them back to gratitude. Their failure was not in lacking knowledge, but in ignoring accountability. The transformation of